Hello, and welcome to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. I am Steph, and I'm the owner and creative director at VIM. VIM's mission is to showcase the enthusiasm and passion of business leaders nationwide. I cannot wait to have you listen to the show, and stick around. At the end, we talk a little bit about how you can be my next guest. All right, we are back with another episode of the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. As you can see, things are a little different today. I have a real human with me. I have someone in my space. I'm so excited to introduce you to her. We happen to be very close friends. We used to share a fence line. We were neighbors. Our dogs were best friends. And I have such the honor of her also being a client of mine, where we helped work on her branding to help deliver the message that they give as clear as possible and as beautifully as it deserves to be. And so I have Laurel Youngstrom with Youngstrom Safety. Youngstrom Safety here with us today. And as always, I'm just going to start things off rapid fire and just kick it off to you and say, what is your why?
Well, my why is because my husband is a work-related paraplegic, and we have gone through 26 years of the consequences of a split-second safety decision that was the wrong one, and we don't want anyone else to go through that. And so we travel around the country to all different kinds of industries and speak to the employees about what our life has been like and what theirs might be like, and how we are actually probably the best. What is that?
Like example?
Yeah, I can't think of the word. Anyway, that very likely their life wouldn't end up even as good as ours.
If they...
Best case scenario, that's the word I was thinking of.
Best case scenario.
Best case scenario, because we do a lot of these presentations and we hear a lot of stories from everyone else, and they're so much sadder.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and so let's just kind of dive right into that. So you and Russ, your husband, had, gosh, tell me how many years ago was the accident?
26 years.
26 years ago, this accident at the workplace happens, and it completely changes the trajectory of your life. And you're saying, in the end, right, we almost had the best case scenario with how things happened. And, you kind of turned this whole 26-year, journey around into what you do today with Youngstrom Safety. So how does your purpose, this not wanting anyone to go through what you've gone through, turned into what you two do today?
Well, I mean, it was kind of by accident. No pun intended. It was.
I love
it. He had his accident, and his company asked him to come speak at one of their safety meetings. And at first he was too embarrassed, and he didn't do it. For about a year, I think he finally agreed, and he went and spoke. And then there was another company there, and they asked him to come speak. And then about 10 years after that, somebody said, well, why don't you just speak with him? Because a lot of the questions afterwards were directed at me, being the wife and family member that's gone through, what we've gone through.
Right.
And so I started speaking with him probably about 10 to 12 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what makes what you do, what you and Russ do together, so different than any of the other safety presentations, safety speakers. We speak in your brand messaging a lot about how we aren't stuffy. Laurel and Russ aren't stuffy businessmen in suits who have never worked on the job, have never been in the line of fire per se, to give this message. Not only has Russ been on the ground, done the work, you have lived the life of a spouse or a family member who has had a severe workplace injury that's changed the trajectory of your life, you both speak in tandem of how not only did that affect Russ as a paraplegic now, and then you, but also your son Spencer. So tell me how purposefully that storyline and that presentation kind of came together that you now give today.
We just wanted to illustrate all the things that might happen, that probably will happen. The financial strain, our son, like I said, we're the best case scenario. So many kids whose parents end up paraplegic, they turn to alcohol or drugs or suicide. And we're just very, very fortunate that Spencer turned out as well as he did.
Yeah. And Spencer's how old now?
28.
28. So he was 2 when this
He'll
happened.
be 29 actually in a couple days.
Oh, August baby.
Yeah.
And so he was 2 or 3 when this happened.
He was 2 years old.
And so when you think about, right, not wanting what your story to happen to anyone else, how do you think of Spencer as even a almost 29-year-old, and then we think about our workforce who's also 20s, 30s, 40s,
right?
And we're speaking to them, and we need to make them think about a mental shift when they're on the job. What kind of guidance are you speaking to people about what they should be thinking about? Not just, hey, follow the rules of safety, buckle your harness. Like, how are we shifting the message so that it really sticks and clicks?
So we emphasize personal accountability, and we talk about how you need to think of your family when you're at work. It's so easy not to. It's easy to get focused on the task at hand, and you forget why you're there. But I mean, you're there to make a better life for your family, right?
Right.
They're not going to have a better life if something happens to you. They're just not.
Yeah.
And I think that even if you don't feel like you have family, I'm sure you do. You probably have a brother or a sister. Nobody wants to get that phone call. Whoever's on that sheet, that in case of emergency sheet, they don't want you to ever have to use it.
Yeah. And so you say, to this same point, you say in your messaging, you say that your mission is to move safety from the head to the heart. Explain what you mean by moving safety from the head to the heart. What does that really mean to your listeners?
I think that means not thinking about it as a rule. Don't think about safety just as a bunch of rules, or the safety guy's out to get us, or it's not that at all.
Yeah.
All these safety directors we've worked with, they're in it with a passion also. They want to help people. They want to save lives. And it just has turned into something that it's not. I just want people to know that if somebody is correcting you or coaching you, just accept it, because they really care. I mean, I talk to the supervisors and I'm like, these employees, they're not going to care. They're not going to care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. And if you show them that you care and you genuinely care, then they will probably listen to what you say.
Yeah. And I think what I love about moving safety from the head to the heart is that we do think of our jobs, especially some of the men in my life who I know work in very dangerous environments. It is all about that bottom line of, I have to get in the hours, I have to get the paycheck, I have to put food on the table, I have to roof over the head. And those are very tactile, I would call head things. These are things that we are thinking about in our head. But the deeper thing is, but all of that is for the heart, which is, who's in the house that I'm roofing? Whose mouth am I feeding? Right? Where is all of this energy going to? And that's the heart of the matter. And that's bringing the idea of bringing safety from the head to the heart is a really great exercise that you do when you're doing your live presentations. You kind of help the audience members and all of the staff think about how can you have a physical reminder on a regular of what we're moving that safety mentality from the head to the heart. What do you do when you're in these live presentations with businesses to help them remind who they're doing this for?
I think that the important thing is to make sure that you use whatever passion it is that the worker has. What are they passionate about? What are they living for? What do they want to wake up for? What do they want to go home for?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same for everybody. I mean, you have people who maybe it is a spouse or a child, sometimes a grandchild. Sometimes it's not. I mean, sometimes it's a dog, and sometimes some people on their family boards, they put up motorcycles, or we've had people put up pictures of their boats, or one person even took a picture of their Super Bowl tickets. Whatever it is that you're looking forward to doing, that's what you need to think about. All the time.
So you say your boards. Is this an exercise that you do when you're there? Do you have them actually, put things on a board, or is there a physical reminder or anything that you help with?
There's well, a lot of people have family boards, but what we do is we have the yellow, like a silicone bracelet. Yes. Our brand color yellow. Silicone bracelet. It doesn't say Youngstrom Safety on it. It's not for advertising. It's just to remind them why they're at work. Some people don't like to wear it on the wrist. Some people like to put it on like a coffee mug or a gear shift, wherever it is that you're going to be reminded when you're at work who it is that you're safe for. We have them take a Sharpie and put a name on it. But even if that name wears off, you're still going to know whose name you wrote on that bracelet. And I just, it just warms my heart when somebody sends a picture of this bracelet and they're like, I've been wearing this for 3 years since you gave us the safety presentation. And it reminds me every day to be safe for my family.
It literally gets me emotional. It's similar to the commitment you're making when you get married, right? There is this ring, this symbol that you wear on a regular basis. And whether you're wearing it or not, or you wear it around your neck, or, it's in a drawer, but it exists. That symbol, that whether it's a bracelet or a ring, is that commitment to this heart, this other heart that you've made a priority in your life.
Yeah, that's good.
No, I mean, I seriously have heard you and Russ speak. I've had the pleasure of being in your in-person presentations, and it is incredibly moving that you guys have dedicated your life to bringing this message of moving safety from the head to the heart to others. I just it really, every time I see you on social media, she's like a LinkedIn queen, by the way. So if you want to see how you do LinkedIn authentically, go to Laurel Youngstrom on LinkedIn. I will make sure all of her notes are in the comments. But she's so authentic, and you lead with your passion and your purpose. Whether you, like, if I asked you to tell me what your passion and purpose is, I don't know. I think it's so innate with you that you would even struggle to explain it, other than just, I am who I am, and I just put out what I put out.
Yeah, I'm a people person, and I like to build the relationships, and I like to get to know people, and I just I like to wish them happy birthday and a happy work anniversary and congratulations on the new position. That's just me.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would ever be a businesswoman. Never thought I would be an owner of a business. And here I am.
Here you are. And you're doing a phenomenal job. And so, well, I'll be honest, I lost track of time with us today, but I'm not ready to wrap this up, but I wanted to, before I wrap things up, I wanted to just thank you for coming and doing this. I know that, you are a safety presenter, safety speaker. And so I know speaking is very comfortable for you, but this is a very different environment.
Very, yeah.
And we're both a little off our game today. So I just thank you for coming and doing this with me and being my first inaugural client episode and my first in-person episode. So you've been a blessing to me. So thank you again for coming. And before we wrap, I just want to have you do two things for my listeners. One, I want you to just give them your top tip that you could give if they're listening to this and they're resonating and realizing, wow, I need to probably think about my day-to-day at work a little different. Or if you're a safety presenter, or like a safety officer or safety manager, what's your kind of one tip that you would want people to take away from this episode? And then lastly, after that, how do people connect with you and want to start working with you in some way?
Well, I think my one tip would just be make safety relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a relationship. Don't make it rules and regulations. Get to know your folks and get to know the names of their family, get to know what's coming up in their life so that you can say, hey, put on those safety glasses. Don't you want to see that grandbaby that's going to be born next month?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That once again gets me so choked up. It's such a good reminder. I love that you said make safety a relationship, right? Not a rule. That's a really great way of thinking about that same mentality of taking it from the head, rules, to the heart, where we have relationships. And so then if my audience is listening and they're like, okay, I need to learn more about Laurel. I need to learn how I can work with her. What's a good way to do that?
Well, right now we have something that just came up with. It's 12 prompts for safety meetings or toolbox talks or whatever you want to call them. It's all free, and it's on our website, youngstromsafety.com. And then, like she said, I'm also on Facebook under Laurel Youngstrom and under Youngstrom Safety, and mostly just Youngstrom Safety and Laurel Youngstrom on
LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the LinkedIn, I'm on quite a bit. I just, I've made a lot of friends, and I really just care about people, and I want them to be safe and take care of themselves.
I love that. Yeah, you really are so authentic on LinkedIn. I literally have told this to you before, but I take a page out of your book every day. I think about my own LinkedIn and how much I need to nurture that whole audience better. And so I'm always thinking, like, it's like, what would Laurel do? What would Laurel do? And I love that you created those safety prompts. So a whole year, 12-month safety prompt download, free on youngstromsafety.com, so that whether you are doing this independently for yourself, if you are a foreman, or if you are the safety inspector, or if you are a safety officer and you are protecting your whole team, like it's probably, right? We go back to the make safety or what did you say? Make safety a relationship, not a rule. Yeah. That's hard to do because we get kind of stuck in the same mundane things we've said. And so these 12 prompts really help you get creative and bring something new to the relationship of safety. I know one of the really amazingly powerful prompts that I've seen on that download is this exercise, and these all take less than 5 minutes, right? We know that on the job, time is of the essence. Efficiency is priority, sometimes above safety when it shouldn't be. And so we made these, she made these really quick. So one of them really helps your team get a feel for what it would be like to have an eye injury, a chemical burn, a puncture, something very dramatic where your sight was impaired or possibly gone. And so just such an easy exercise that you can do with your team in under 5 minutes. I love that you thought to give that gift to so many in that way. It's beautiful. And then you also do in-person and virtual speaking engagements. Is that correct?
We do. We've done 31 states now, in person, and then I'm not sure how many virtual. I didn't keep
Too
track.
many to count.
But yeah, and any industry and any shift, we want to make sure everyone hears the message, and so we're willing to pretty much go anywhere and just speak to anyone in any kind of situation. We've done 10 people in the back of a pickup truck, and we've done thousands. Just recently we did 2,000 every presentation, and we did 3 of those.
Wow.
So
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much again for coming on.
thank you.
If you guys, like I said, I will make sure in the show notes that we have access to Laurel through her website so that you can get that free download. You can check her out. I really encourage you, if somebody listening, multiple of you listening, have individuals in your life who put themselves in danger for the betterment of our world and how we all survive every day. And so whether you share Youngstrom Safety to them, or you just give them the idea to really make safety a relationship versus a rule, I think that's a beautiful message that you can give to anyone. So until next time, thank you guys again. Steph here. Thank you so much for listening to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. If you are a successful business owner and you lead your business with passion, we'd love to feature you on our show. We'd love to share with the world what makes your business great and how you have intentionally led passion throughout your business. Also, if you got any value or little tidbits from this episode, please take a minute to screenshot the episode and share it on your favorite social media platform. Be sure to tag us so we can properly thank you, and we love deepening our connection with our listeners. We are regularly putting out new episodes to feature leaders such as yourself who lead with passion on purpose. So be sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss any future episodes. For more episodes, guest information, or details on the show, please visit getvim.com/passion on purpose. That's getvim.com/passion on purpose. Once again, I'm Steph. I am the owner and creative director at Vim, and thank you for listening to the show.